Heart of Oak is brought to you by Timberland Pro, Marvin Windows and Doors, Midcape and AZEC Trim,
and these valued partners. When we first started Oak, it just so happened that our first project was in Hingham. We were introduced to the town initially because my brother lived here. Hingham is a very historic town. It has a beautiful main street that it's renowned for. It was a really great location, close to the water, close to the ferry to Boston. PJ grew up on the Cape, and when we moved here also because it was moving a little bit closer to the Cape and to some family that's there. As our business began to grow, we decided we also wanted to move some of our work further outside of Hingham, specifically towards Cape Cod. As we began looking outside of Hingham, we have always really loved the town of Duxbury.
Duxbury, Massachusetts is a lot like Hingham and Scituate and Cohasset. It's an amazing, tight community with an awesome downtown. The harbor's amazing. We've got Island Creek Oysters there, which is a local business, and it helps drive the economy of the town of Duxbury. Ever since I moved to the South Shore, I've always just loved the town. Every time I'm there, I just feel comfortable. It reminds me of the Cape where I grew up. So I've always wanted to do something there, but I've always had a hard time figuring out what project I can make work. And I've looked at probably 5. So I was offered this property in Duxbury, had one call with them, and it just worked out. So I put the deal together.
And as he normally does, comes home and just says, hey, I bought another property without even really running it by me. And that's, how this project was born.
Going to new markets is always tricky. It's super risky because you're not established, no one knows who you are, you don't have a brand there, and you're kind of the outsider coming in.
You better make sure you have all your T's crossed and I's dotted. There's no room for error.
You have to do it right. You don't want to get off on the wrong foot with the neighborhood.
Depot Street was a way in itself for us to prove ourselves to the town that we belong here and we're going to build a beautiful product that everybody's going to love.
Now I need to make sure the business model is right, which is tough. So do we save the house and build off it? Do we tear it down? And this one was right in the middle of that decision. The ceiling heights were low, so now you're trying to get higher ceiling heights in the addition, and is it really cost effective? It's gonna take more time. It just gets real complicated, and at a certain point, a project has a point of no return where it's like, you know what, it's just not worth it. We ultimately decided to tear it down.
It was a small house on a large property. We were able to work up a new plan, working within the setbacks and the code of the town and the building bylaws to create a new house that's better fit for the lot.
We came in with a fresh new idea that you don't see in Duxbury often, and that's a modern New England home that has an oak flair to it. So if you tell me, listen, I love the look and I love the concept, go for it, then I can figure it out and I can execute it. Definitely a little different than everything else we've done, but still in line with some finishes that we've done in the past. And we just went for it.
The last year and a half or so were very customer heavy as far as our projects were concerned. And we knew that we wanted to bring a spec back onto the list.
What excites me about this house is the exterior. I don't know, there's something about the lines and the different roof pitches. It's one of those houses that you look at on a blueprint and you're like, oh yeah, this feels good. I haven't built anything like it. It's unique, which I love, right? And it's different, which I love. Which also means people in town might not like it because we're not your average gambrel or shingle-sided cape that you see around here. The way to get something different accepted is to make sure you do it well and make sure the quality is there. I'm excited about something brand new. This is a brand new design, came up with it from scratch.
As I'm designing a home, and specifically a spec home that doesn't have a buyer, at first it feels a little jarring. There is no one that you need to answer to, and you do get to make all the decisions, but also knowing I have to be mindful that it is something that can appeal to most people. I really wanted to make sure that I brought in a lot of textures and neutrals because again, it's not for a specific person at this point, but I also wanted to bring in the oak aesthetic. Organic feeling elements, stone, wood, things that are natural.
A lot of the builds that oak does is modern, but with traditional characteristics. Working with a spec home is preferred. Usually there's a lot less changes that end up happening.
I really wanted it to feel welcoming, but also cohesive and have a really natural flow. As we were designing Duxbury and talking about space planning there, the way that we do that now is a little bit different. Pre-pandemic, people were still into open spaces and open concepts, but I think as people were home more, they were realizing that they needed more private space. They really need a home office. As we were drawing this house, we incorporated space that could be an office on the second floor, and there's space on the first floor off of the entrance that could be used as a formal living room or as an office. But even as we were digging more into it and as the build was happening, PJ realized that there was third floor space that we could take advantage of and that would give us a few hundred more square feet of living space.
And that's one of the things I do is constantly pivoting and seeing the world around you and finding ways to cater the build to it.
The kitchen is always the heart of the home. I wanted to make sure that I had the opportunity to use fixtures there that elevated the space. I really wanted these lights to give a wow factor when you walked into the space, but that they would also complement what you have in your main living room and what could also be a dining space. You're not only seeing these from the kitchen, you're seeing them from the whole rest of the main part of the first floor. So that's something I'm always thinking about when I'm making these types of selections.
Well, I called PJ this morning, and I was on my way just to do some job site visits, just kind of get an idea of the schedule and where the project's at.
Do you want to go through the interior?
Whatever you want. Yeah, that's fine. I was just coming here to see your smiling face. How you doing on delivery on the kitchen, as far as timing? Is it here?
I'm
Do you have
good.
it?
We've learned our lessons. We're
Yeah.
on top of the kitchen. We're on top of the appliances. We're on top of the trim.
Yep.
Doors are landing tomorrow. Paint just went on yesterday. So like we're finally back to like a good schedule again.
Right.
Thanks to you guys, obviously, because you're keeping me in check, which is good.
It's a struggle just being in this business right now. Again, it just really comes down to communication and really staying on top of the projects. You lose money when you're not moving.
Correct.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
So if I can help you keep moving, and you're making money, we're moving the market, the houses are going up quicker, you're getting your money back in your pocket. He really controls the design of the project, which when you have an understanding of what's happening with the market, what products are available, what the market's looking for, what people really need, that really separates him from a lot of the other builders in the area.
So I crawled up in there from the master. I had to like weasel my way in there. Full 7'6" ceiling height upstairs. So mid-job, classic PJ, I move all these walls, I move all the closets, I move all the doors,
So where do you go in?
and I got the staircase over here.
This is really sweet.
Yeah, so now we have almost 500 square feet of found space.
Having a product like Oak Development builds, it's just a great fit for this town. It's exactly what they need. More quality builders, more people, pushing the envelope a little bit on design and really changing the landscape of the town.
We're in good shape to get to the finish line here. Everything's teed up.
That just keep me looped in on any punch list stuff.
Yep.
As you're getting, moving along. If there's anything I need to push.
All right, man.
Good seeing you, brother.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. You ready? Yeah. Let's get out of here.
So we started like a week and a few days ago, and we had like a 3-ish week window to wrap up. And that's kind of how construction is. Double team, double time everyone, and just kind of get things rolling.
I have your buddy today.
Hi. Matt's here, so we have to go over some millwork, but
Okay.
I just peeked in. The plaster looks so good. I haven't seen it.
It came out so great. I was here yesterday.
So what's interesting about Oak is that they're a husband and wife led company. So that kind of dynamic gets brought into the workspace and makes it a little exciting sometimes and fun, and always just kind of keeps you on your feet.
What I will say is we need to figure out all the custom millwork we're doing. So specifically, I need to know what's going on with the fireplace, the design of the mudroom and powder room.
I'm leaning towards maybe doing stone on the fireplace.
No. Well, I was thinking it was all wood.
Well, we'll talk about that. And then,
But again, I don't care. I just need to know, like yesterday.
okay, that's literally the most annoying line I've ever heard.
So the fireplace, it looks like it needs to be decided whether it's going to be stone whether it's gonna be marble or whether it's gonna be clean with just like a wooden mantle.
Mateus,
What's up?
how are you doing? So we wanted to just kind of quickly walk through and go over some of the things that we probably should have decided months ago, but we haven't talked about at all.
When we went there to quote, PJ had asked for these sort of things.
What do you think about doing some sort of like design with like white oak on this whole thing?
I don't think I want to do that. I wouldn't like stone the whole wall. You know what I mean?
We could do stone and we just have like a rough grouted edge on it.
And then Lizzy wanted these sort of things.
Would you hate me if I wanted to try to use a different stone?
We could incorporate just a very simple shelf
Yeah.
for a mantle with
Yeah.
stone.
Yeah,
You just got to get me the stone, like real fast.
that's always how he asks. He goes, so I needed that like yesterday.
Well,
and I'm like, well, maybe we could get on that sooner.
I kind of did.
You had planned for one thing, and then you're kind of just expected to pivot really quickly, and it just puts this like sense of pressure that adds some spice to the job.
I'm happy with how the placement came out because originally when you placed them, they were too close together. It like squeezed this half of the room. And when I was thinking about how someone could lay this space out, I didn't really like
I'm laughing.
that.
You know why?
Why?
They're exactly where I originally placed them.
No, they're not. That
No.
one was much closer this way.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
I'll make a bet. We're gonna talk to Gray and shake my hand.
I have a mark on the floor. But then, like, over the years, I've gained this ability of kind of seeing the concept in my head because of all the experience I have now and just trusting my gut.
So the master bathroom, PJ had talked to me a few days ago about doing some sort of thing, focusing the toilet.
Because one idea I had was we do some sort of paneling through here. And Matt and I were talking about doing like a cool design. No, your face tells me no.
Lizzy wasn't into that idea.
Well, so my reasoning for that is like, why highlight where the toilet is?
They were kind of looking at me to sort of make a decision, and it puts me just like in a little bit of a difficult place.
Yep.
What if you get a golden toilet?
We could do that. I mean, do you know what I'm saying about like highlighting the toilet area? I just think that's like a little odd.
Because of that dynamic of husband and wife, boss and designer, like that was fun.
Little,
He can't even like keep his
little
mouth
does
shut.
everybody.
No, that the first house that I did all the design.
The
That's
first
not true.
4
I did.
houses, I was the one picking almost everything.
Right, and our houses after that are really nice. The vanities are really pretty. The whole like moment that's happening in there is really nice. That's what it's called. It's called a moment.
You're gonna have a moment with your golden toilet.
It's definitely something unique there, but I think they have the magic to deliver a good thing in the end.
I mean, I listed it yesterday, so
Yeah,
we gotta.
makes more sense.
I just wanna figure out how I can get it done fast. Okay?
You're rude.
What's ended up happening throughout the years is because I've been building homes and selling them, I've been representing myself.
Is this your first house in Duxbury?
Yeah,
I didn't realize how cute the center is. Like
it's awesome.
It's so cute and it's so close.
Yeah, Seabird Coffee's right
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
Brothers is right there. You've got everything you need. Literally, you can walk there.
Great.
You wanna go inside?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it.
Dying to see it.
All right, so you have to have your imagination in here. It's not
All right.
done. But we're getting there. So we've got open kitchen here, so I have everything on my iPad so you can see.
And I love the gold fixtures.
So we haven't finalized the plan with this yet, but we're considering doing stone again in here.
Yep.
And bringing the stone all the way up.
I was thinking you could put a TV and a couch in here. And you could...
Yeah, it's a great additional space. So this laundry room used
Or
to
it
be
could be
over there.
or it could be an even bigger closet.
It could be you could make a huge closet out of it. A master closet here,
Huge.
which probably, from what I gather, is not big enough.
You kind of see his vision.
I met Bob at a showing. We hit it off. I could tell right away that he was just an energetic young guy that likes to get stuff done.
I actually was introduced to Depot through an Instagram post from PJ because, again, I was a fan first. I'm building a house for my own family that's very similar in footprint and materials and design, so I knew a lot about it, and just kind of organically because I'm so close to my own build. So to be able to speak to that home, I was really itching to sell it myself. That's really how our relationship kicked off. And lo and behold, once we kind of made it official with myself coming on board, that was really one of the first kind of assignments, so to speak, was I need you to help me sell Depot Street.
When we brought Bob on, I remember PJ talking to me and really like hyping him up. I found this guy, he's super eager, he's young, and honestly, for us and for our family, we just don't necessarily have the bandwidth to do the whole 360 of getting it all the way to the sale point. And so to have Bob come on and help out with that, it's great.
I think it's really important to step outside and network with local brokers and businesses and trades that are in the town so that they could go tell their clients and their network how high of a quality build it was.
What I didn't realize was gonna happen was that Bob, who's in charge of this listing, asked if we could do a little networking event at the house. And I was like, yeah, of course.
We thought that it would be kind of a fun idea to do it a little bit differently than we normally do at an open house. And so we decided that we want to have a barbecue, but also I was thinking, you know, we're in Duxbury, so we need to maybe grab some oysters. They're right down the street. So I told PJ that he has to go figure that out, and I'll figure out like a serving plate to put them on. You know, both of us kind of went our separate ways to get our separate takes on the town. Hi.
Hi.
Lauren, right?
Yes.
Lizzy.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I actually am here. We just built a house down the street and we're having a little gathering.
Okay.
And so we're gonna have some food and some drinks, but I'm not really sure yet what I need. Do you mind if I take a spin around the store?
Absolutely.
And so I was excited to meet you to see how you built this place.
So there hadn't been Duxbury oysters until we started farming
That's
them here.
amazing. Wow. And so you, on a whim, to pay your bills, you started...
I would use the word desperation.
Desperation, okay. So out of desperation, you started farming oysters.
You know, kind of inventing the wheel.
I've eaten hundreds of oysters, and little did I know that Mr. Skip Bennett is purely responsible for bringing oysters to Duxbury.
I feel very honored to have a store here in Duxbury. I love this community. It's one that really rallies around each other, that it's great to be able to work where you live and love. Do you need help finding anything in particular?
Yes, definitely. You guys have like everything. So I actually think that I'm looking for something to serve oysters. I should have oysters at this.
Yes, absolutely, you should.
Gathering, right?
Yeah.
What would you suggest?
We have actually a bunch of different oyster platters that would be great if you want me to
Perfect.
show you.
Yeah.
All right.
We have tens of millions of oysters in the bay, and they're filtering with excessive algal blooms and nitrogen.
In a way, you could say Island Creek is saving Duxbury Harbor.
Definitely improving it. It's the only protein I know of that we as a society grow that actually improves the quality of the environment.
How large is the party that you're having?
It's like 20, 25 people, probably.
All right, well, I mean, there's this one, and what's great about these products themselves is that you can freeze them before using, and so that your stuff can stay cold.
I feel like that's actually perfect.
Yeah,
right?
So you put it in the freezer just beforehand, and then when you're serving it, you get it all ready for the bed.
Yep.
And then it's just...
sold.
Right.
In 1991, I took all the money that I'd been able to save in my young career and bought clam seed. In 1991, there was the perfect storm. Most of my clams got blown out of the bottom and spread all over the bay, and everybody called it a 100-year storm, so I thought, well, I'm good for 100 years. And lo and behold, in December of 1992, there was another 100-year storm that really devastated my crop. Any logical person probably would have given up at that point. So, you know, I figured I was good for 200 years now.
You have gone through so many hardships, but you keep bouncing back and pivoting and finding ways to make things successful.
Yeah, you know, growing shellfish is inherently risky. So I think, you know, the answer to risk is diversification.
So this place looks incredible.
Quite a change from what it was.
So this was built in the 1800s?
It was built in 1803 as a residence, yeah. It's been a restaurant for about 100 years. Everybody kind of has picked up my dream and made it their own.
So after I was with Lauren at the studio, I met up with PJ, who had been with Skip at Island Creek, getting a tour over there.
I think the best part of this entire day was the fact that I got a reservation at the Windsor's house. So now I actually can have a date night with Lizzy.
Yeah, they opened about a year ago, and they took all sorts of walls down and like renovated the whole place.
It's cool because it's like every single spot is really different. What do we have here?
So these are our tumblekin oysters that Skip grows out at Sakewish, and these are super special because this is the only place that you can get them.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow, that might be the best oyster I've ever had. I mean, I don't want to tell all our Hingham friends, but maybe we should move to Duxbury.
I would move to Duxbury.
By the time I got here, they had the barbecue going, music going, banners up, everything done. I just showed up.
I'm from Brazil. The meat we cooked was from a Brazilian grill. We just kind of bring something for our country.
The pressure's definitely on when we held that open house. It was the inaugural moment that we opened up the doors and we got people come in to see what we've created in their town.
When I pulled up to it, I thought it was absolutely stunning. It's in such a great location, and then I just loved all like the woodwork on the inside. The outside was absolutely beautiful, and the landscaping. I mean, can't ask for anything better.
Everything's fantastic. It's an open floor plan, high ceilings, has so many great amenities into it. It just makes it a better place to live.
The design of that house it's just perfect for the world we live in today. There's so much flexibility of how you want to live and be in that space.
The agent open house that Bob put together was fantastic, and thankfully, through all of his hard work, we ended up making a sale.
You get so close to a project that you kind of forget that people are actually going to live in it. So then to see people cooking in the backyard and utilizing the house the way that you had envisioned is so rewarding. At the end, to sit back and look at this and realize that you actually do create something and you need to enjoy that.